Good morning, ghouls and spooks. I am Nina and welcome back to another one of my YouTube channels. If you're new to my channel, welcome. A little bit about myself. I love creating content and videos around fashion, specifically goth and alternative fashion, and then beauty, so like skincare and makeup. Today is going to be a makeup video, kind of more like a get ready with me, where I'm gonna do my makeup with you guys. I'm gonna show you the products that I'm using, a little bit about how I do it or how I'm applying it and why I think it works for me. And then I'm just gonna talk a little bit with you guys and just hang out. Let's get into it, shall we? Those of you that have been following me for a while or that know me know that I just recently graduated esthetician school. Yay! One of the things that I learned in school while they were teaching us the basics of makeup was that one of the key things to a good makeup look is proper skin prep. So things like exfoliating, making sure you're properly moisturized, and SPF. SPF is a big one. Poppies are my favorite. I love poppies, all the flavors. They're my favorite. I've already done my skin prep. I've exfoliated, moisturized, things like that. So I think I'm going to start with my eyes first. I'm just going to add some eye primer. So I am currently out of eye primer. So right now I am currently using my facial primer on my eyes, and the one that is one of my all-time favorites that I really love is One Size Secure the Blur. I really like this one for combination skin. Those of you that have oily or combination skin, I actually really like this a lot. And I have not had any issues using it on my eyes whatsoever. It hasn't been like too drying, hasn't really been too much, too irritating. I so far have had good things using it in my eyes as well as my skin. Now that I've already primed my eyelids, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to shape my brows, and I usually like to use the NYX brow glue for this one. I hope you guys can see that okay. I'm just going to shape my brows. I'm really excited to do this makeup look today. I have really been into gray makeup a lot lately. Like the light gray, the dark gray, even with like some hints of black. I don't know what it is, but I've just really been into gray makeup lately. So that's the makeup look we're doing today, is gray. I think I like that eyebrow shape. I think that looks even. So now I'm going to go back to my brows, and I'm going to kind of prep that with some concealer. And the concealer I use is the e.l.f. Camo. This one is in the shade Light Ivory because I'm pale as fudge. I just apply a little bit to my lid, and then I kind of carve out my brows here. And I do like one side at a time so that the foundation isn't sitting for too long. And then I use my damp sponge in Pumpkin Orange because pumpkins are the best. When Halloween comes around, all I want to do is pumpkin patches. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. Now that that's blended out, I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. Just carve this out. What is your guys, like, what is one of your guys' favorite things to do around Halloween? Is it trick-or-treating? Is it haunted houses? Is it also pumpkin patches? Like, what are the traditions that you grew up doing that is your #1 favorite that you love to do every year? Tell me in the comments. I'm really interested to know. Now that we're all finished, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to start in with the eyeshadow. As I said, we are going to be doing a gray look today. So I'm going to be using one of my newer eyeshadow palettes that I'm super in love with. I'm all about it. It's literally all I've been using the past month. And that is the ColourPop Blow and Smoke eyeshadow palette. I love this thing so much. This is every goth ghoul's dream. Every goth ghoul's dream. I'm just going to be using my fluffy brush, and I'm going to be using the color Stone Face. So I'm just kind of softly blending this into my crease. It's very, very subtle, but you can probably see like the gray. It's a very, very light, subtle gray. But I blended that all into my crease. And now I'm going to go in with a little bit darker gray. I'm going to use a tapered brush for this, so like a pointed taper brush is what I'm going to be using. And this time I'm going to be using this color here in Ignite, or actually Slated. And this little bit darker gray I'm going to place here over my eyelid, and I'm going to bring it at least up to right where the crease starts, which is here, so that it kind of evenly blends. I like using a tapered brush for this because it helps really get in the corners of where I want the eyeshadow to go. Now that I've placed it on my lid, you see how my whole eyelid just kind of disappears in my eye? Now this is where I'm going to take this dark gray and I'm gonna kind of bring it up to where the crease starts, but I don't want to cover the light gray that I just applied. So I'm gonna kind of bring this up a little bit further. Now when I open my eye, you can see it. You can see that I have another color there. It doesn't just fully disappear, which is what we want. And I'm going to do the same with the other side. Now that I have done both eyes, I'm going to take the same color that we used in our crease with the same fluffy brush. I'm going to apply it in the crease again, just to kind of blend the two together. Okay, and now that we're all finished with that, I am going to start with my eyeliner. And I use liquid eyeliner, but before I do, I kind of do a little something else to kind of get the shape of the eyeliner that I want. And I do this because I have hooded eyes. So what I like to do is I like to use my angled brush. Let me see what I like to do to figure out the shape of my eyeliner is I like to use eyeshadow powder with this angled brush here. I don't know if you can see that. And I like to use this black eyeshadow here in Let's Do It. And I kind of just draw out the shape, the outline of what I want my eyeliner to look like. I find this really helps having hooded eyes versus just kind of winging it with like an eyeliner and then it doesn't look very good, at least in my experience. I've always struggled to get good eyeliner with it disappearing in my eyes. So I draw the top line to right where my crease starts. And then it's gonna look like that. And then I just do the same on the other side. Okay, so I like the look of this. So now I'm gonna go over the powder line with the liquid liner. Now that I have outlined my eyeliner with the liquid liner, I'm gonna go in and I'm going to fill in the space. I'm gonna go ahead and apply my face primer, and I'm going to be using the same one size face primer. I've applied my primer everywhere and now I'm going to go in with my foundation. I use the Maybelline Fit Me in matte because I have combination skin, so I get oily in my T-zone. Okay, now that I have applied my foundation everywhere, I'm now going to contour, and I like to use the e.l.f. Halo Glow contour, and the shade that I use is Fair Light. This is the best contour I could find that wouldn't make me so, I guess, orange or warm when I apply it, because I'm very, very pale. I'm very cool toned. I'd say more like maybe cool tone, neutral, maybe leaning more towards the cool tone. I saw somewhere on TikTok that gray contour is actually the very, very best at making shadows. So once I get my hands on that, I will definitely be making another makeup look with that contour stick. And then I do it up here. To accentuate my oval face shape. Now I'm also going to apply a little concealer in places of where I would highlight. And I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Halo Glow concealer. I almost said contour. I just do a little bit here, a little bit here, and that's all I do. I just blend, I just take what I have here and I blend it out in the other areas. That way my face doesn't look too cakey when I do get oily in my T-zone. Now I'm going to blend out my contour. Now that I've blended my contour, I'm now going to go in with the brows, and I'm going to be using my Precision Brow Pencil. Well, it's kind of like a retractable pencil, kind of like that. Okay, there we go. I filled in this brow. Now I'm just going to do the same on the other side. Now that I've defined my brows, I'm going to go in and finish with the rest of my eye makeup. Now that I've finished defining my brows, I am now going to go in and finish the rest of my eye makeup. And I'm going to take an angled brush, just a little bit smaller angled brush, and I'm going to use the same color that we put on our lid here. That is the Slated in the Blow and Smoke eyeshadow color palette. Eyeshadow palette by ColourPop. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. And I'm going to add that underneath the eye now. There, so then it looks like that. Now I'm going to go into the waterline, and I'm going to be using my Makeup Revolution Streamline eyeliner. This one has a smudge on one end and the eyeliner on the other. Okay, so this is what you want it to look like. Now I'm just going to do the same to the other side. And I'm going to go ahead and smudge that out so that it blends very nicely into the gray. Alright, now that that's all blended out, I'm now going to go in with the mascara. And the mascara that I use is by Charlotte Tilbury, and it's the Exaggerize. Now I go in with my spoolie and I comb through it to separate the lashes and to get rid of any excess that could be clumping in my lashes. So now I'm going to work on my lips. I'm going to first outline my lips, and then I will do lashes, and then we'll finish the lips. So to outline my lips, I'm going to use, I've had this for a while. I've been using it a lot in a lot of my makeup looks, and it's the Anastasia in, let me see, a cool brown. It's a little rubbed off because I've had it for a while. That's about the shape of my lips that I would like. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this outline in like a black lipstick. Alright, now that I've got my outline, before I finish my lips, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the lashes. I've already put one lash on. The lashes I'm going to be using is by Ardell. It's part of their Naked Lashes set, but it's the size 421 is what I'm using. I use the Duo glue. And I put a little bit of eyelash glue on my eyelid of where I want to place my lash, and then I also do a little bit of glue on the lash as well. It makes it hold super duper well, and I never have any issues with my lashes. As close to the lash line as you can. Okay, so I've just placed the lash right where I applied the glue. And this is what we're looking like so far. Now that we've finished with the lashes, I'm gonna go in and add any finishing touches. I'm gonna finish my lips. So I'm going back and I'm sharpening out the eyeliner. Okay, and now I'm going to apply some highlighter, but before I do, I'm going to use the On Till Dawn setting spray. I like to do this before I apply any like finishing powder, just because I feel like it kind of makes it look cakey, or it kind of wets the powder on the face and then makes it look weird. So I like to do a little bit of the finishing powder, just very light finishing powder, after I spray this. And I'm gonna go in and I'm going to do some little silver finishing touches around the eyes, and then I'm going to apply the powder and highlight. I'm going to be using the Starstruck Silver color here in the middle. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that, and I'm just going to apply it in the inner corner here. All right, now that I've let that set a little bit, I'm gonna go in with my Maybelline Fit Me powder in Fair Light, the same color as the foundation. And I am going to use a very super duper fluffy brush. This is a highlighter that I really love and have been using for a long time, but it's by Too Faced. Again, I have had this for a while, so the packaging looks very well loved. And I have it in the shade Diamond Fire, but this is the best highlighter I've ever had, so I love this one. To the tip of the nose here, and a little bit right there. And voila, so now all we have left to finish is the lips, and we'll have a fully completed look.